So I often advise families that we need to work to bring the future closer to present, if that makes sense. Big fan of obviously chunking things and making things feel more manageable, but the way that that could work for seeing time would be through visual timers and sticky notes and things like checklists, but visual checklists with pictures. Things like that really do help kids depending on their age, especially if they're younger. But it is so important that we don't just throw those tools to them. They need to be explicitly taught how to use them. So, like if we're talking about a kid that's in middle school, perhaps, and let's say they have a big project that is due in a week, what you need to do is make time more concrete to them because, again, it feels very abstract when they don't have that time horizon, that idea of how long do I have to complete something. So, for example, scripts like saying something like, your project's due Friday, so today we're going to pick a topic, tomorrow we're going to gather up supplies, Wednesday we'll write a draft. The whole idea here is that you're breaking it into manageable chunks for them so they could see that time. So that future date becomes now present date, mini deadlines. And I talk a lot about, especially in my parent coaching, I talk a lot about working memory and how working memory is broken into two pieces. We have our nonverbal and our verbal. And nonverbal develops first, which is basically the idea of visualizing. So I speak a lot to internalizing these systems versus external because we need to strengthen the internal part in order to develop these skills. So I always say people think better in pictures, right? So we want to use future pictures. So we want to help your children to determine how the future will feel and how it will look. So saying something like, what will it feel like when your room is more clean? How will it feel when your assignment's turned in on time? Let's picture you walking into soccer practice with everything packed in your bag and then saying, what does that look like to you? Another strategy I like to use is to sort of tie today's actions to meaningful outcomes. So, for example, a student who doesn't want to pack their bag for school tomorrow, you could say, if you packed your bag tonight, tomorrow morning you'll have more time to sit and have breakfast. Maybe we won't feel so rushed. So always linking effort back to what your child wants and not what you want will also help with buy-in there. So these are just a few strategies that I have. I have tons. You are welcome to join my private Facebook group for parents. I could link that in my comments below as well. I have a website, but you're welcome to use any kind of tools that I have to offer. I do offer a lot of different things, parent training, parent coaching, but the bottom line is that there are a lot of ways that we can teach this, but the one main idea is we always want to think about bringing that future closer to present for our kids.